Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to the gorgeous coast of Rosarito, Mexico. Today's yoga class is designed for improving flexibility and gaining strength with a combo yin-yang sequence. So roll out your mat and grab some props if you have them and join me in child's pose. In today's class, we will hold the yin static postures for about 2 to 4 minutes. Please modify the practice so it works best for you. If you need to change the length of the holds, please do so. It's okay to challenge yourself. Holding in stillness is often more difficult than yang, active postures. Practice patience and a gentle, yin-like nurturing approach, and never force yourself and push through pain. Listen to your body. It will always speak to you through sensation, so trust your inner guidance. Allow yourself to begin settling in. Start to create a smooth and rhythmic breath. Allow the hips to be heavy, melting down towards the heels. Soften your shoulders. Invite some gentle movements. It may feel nice to sway your forehead from side to side, massaging the third eye, the space between the brows, on a prop or on your mat. A little sway of the hips from side to side, micro movement. Start to soften the tissues around the low back, the quads, gently pressurizing the knees. Make your way back to center and thread your right arm underneath your left arm. Stretch out that right shoulder girdle. You can increase or decrease the sensation of that right arm and shoulder by how much weight you place from your upper body. The palm can be facing up or down. Try both and see what works best for you. Reestablish that breath pace. Nice, smooth, deep breath in. And on your exhalation, release and let it go. Slowly start to transition into the second side. Lift up, thread that left arm underneath the right. Forehead can be resting on the mat or prop. And feel that nice, juicy, yet gentle stretch on that left shoulder girdle. The left deltoid region gets a nice stretch. And do your best to steady your breath pace, to soften into the posture, holding in stillness as best as you can. And slowly start to release that arm. Both arms stretch out in front of you. Tricep stretch now. Bend the elbows, let the palms touch. You can draw the hands behind the head or the neck. And feel that stretch in the back sides of the arms. Let the heart melt down towards the mat and soften around your hips. Ocean-like breathing. Slowly start to release. Let the palms come down to the mat. Ease yourself into tabletop pose, all fours on the hands and knees. Readjust so the knees are about hip width apart, hands beneath the shoulders, and let's prepare for cat-cow. Exhale as you round in to cat pose. Inhale as you curl upwards, offer your heart space. And start to flow through cat-cow at your own pace. Breathing into any areas where you feel tightness or tension. Feel the opening on both the front side and the back sides of your body, creating more space. Next time your spine is rounded in cat pose, really puff up through the upper back, between the shoulder blades. Create a half circular motion, dipping the hips back from side to side. Feel that opening not only in the upper back, but mid-back, low back, around the hips as well. You can create a circular motion if that feels good for you. Go a few times in each direction, or reverse when the time feels right for you. And feel free to invite any movements here that feel nice for you, just flowing organically. Let the body guide you. Make your way back to center when you're balanced out, and take a few more rounds of cat-cow, drawing everything back to center. Come back to neutral spine and step back with your right foot. Take a side body stretch here. Lift that leg up and cross it over the left leg. Take an inhale as you lengthen, and then look back over the shoulder towards the foot and feel that side body stretch, opening up through the obliques on the right side of your body. You should feel it from the rib cage all the way down through the outer hip and IT band. Come back to center, and we'll do the opposite side. Left foot steps back. Lift it up and cross it over the right. Take an inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, curve the spine, look back towards the foot, and now feel the stretch down the left side of your body, and breathe. Opening up those little intercostals that attach the ribs here, all the way down through the IT band. Come back to center. Tuck the toes and lift yourself up into down dog. Start to pedal out the legs, drawing one heel at a time down towards the floor. Get a nice calf muscle stretch. A little sway of the hips from side to side may feel good for you here, just creating more space in the body. A little yang activation here, engaging muscles through the upper body. And now press the heels down at the same time. Feel the stretch on the back sides of the legs. Release the neck by swaying the head from side to side, forward and back. Press the heart down towards the floor, and then lower the knees down onto the mat and slowly start to lower yourself down onto your stomach. Sphinx pose. This is the next yin static posture. Come onto your forearms, arms about shoulder width apart, palms facing down. This is sacral lumbar compression. This is really good for low back therapy. You should feel some compression there. It should not be painful. For less sensation, you can spread the legs out a little bit wider. For more, perhaps the legs in a little bit closer towards one another, or maybe somewhere right in the middle. Find your sweet spot. Hold there. Let the chin be neutral. Eyelids are heavy. Gaze is at your third eye. Concentrate and breathe. Soften your shoulders. We are compressing the low back, those spinal discs, promoting more fluidity within those woven rings of collagen fiber. This helps with spinal flexibility as well. If you can increase the sensation, you can lift up into seal pose by walking the hands out a little bit wider, fingers facing slightly out, shoulders down and away from the ears. If it feels too intense in the low back, just lower yourself back down into Sphinx pose or rest on a bolster or props. Try to relax around the glutes. Let the belly drop down towards the mat. And breathe into that compression. We call this a therapeutic compression for the low back. Nice, smooth, steady breath pace. Almost there. Relax your jaw, soften the face. Slowly start to lower yourself down now into crocodile pose. One forearm stacks over the other and rest your forehead there on your forearms. And rebound. Let everything settle and feel the sensations. Bend your knees and start to sway your legs from side to side in a windshield wiper motion, releasing pressure from the low back. And now slowly start to lower one leg at a time down to the mat. Notice what you feel as you're lowering the legs down. Mindful movement. Lift your upper body up and step out to either side with your hands, rolling cobra. Dip one shoulder and look over the other. Inhale as you come to center. Dip the opposite shoulder and look over the other. Sway from side to side, releasing tension from the upper back, shoulders. The movement here can be as big or as small as you would like. And breathe into this. A couple more times on each side. Once you're balanced out, release your forearms and then place the palms on the mat and start to lift yourself up. Tabletop, then down dog. Start to walk your feet up to meet the hands. Generous bend in the knees. Avoid locking the knees out. Dangling pose. Standing forward fold. The arms can dangle down. This is decompressing the entire spine. It may even feel nice to take a hold of opposite elbows and forearms. A little sway from side to side may feel good. Feel that nice juicy stretch in the hamstrings, the back sides of the legs. Let the top of the skull drop down towards the mat, releasing the neck as well. Just allow any stress to roll off. Imagine it dripping off the shoulders, melting away. Start to walk the hands forward now. Let's start to build some heat and strength. Come into plank pose. Nice strong core. Draw your right knee to your left elbow. Left knee to left elbow. Do this a few more times. Right knee goes over towards the right elbow. Left knee goes over towards the left elbow. And breathe. Feel that strength building. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Come back into plank pose now and hold and breathe. Engage the core. Now drop the knees down. Sit back into embryo pose. Swing the arms back behind you. Forehead comes down to the mat. Rounding the spine here. This is a nice counter pose to that back bending Sphinx and Sill pose. A moment here to ground your energy. Reconnect with your breath. Now, if you have props, this is a good time to reach for your blocks. Come into tabletop pose. Step forward with your right foot into a low lunge position. A little movement here first. Rock your weight forward and back. As you shift forward, bend your right knee and feel that stretch in your left hip flexor region. And as you shift back and fold over that right leg, you'll get a nice hamstring stretch. Shifting forward and back a few times here at your own pace, easing yourself into it. Eventually landing in a low lunge position. We call this dragon pose. You can straddle that right leg. You can go out a little wider with that right foot if you need to, or you can draw the hands in between the inside of that right leg. Some people like to stay upright. I often like to use props here. In this class, I'm not using any props. It's not essential. You can also lower yourself down onto your forearms if that works better for you, or rest on a bolster or blocks. Target area here, getting into that left psoas hip flexor region. The right inner groin is also getting a nice stretch. A mild to moderate level of sensation is what you're aiming for here. A couple other variations you may want to incorporate is the twisted dragon pose, where you ground down through your left hand. Use your right hand to gently press on that right inner thigh and gaze over, twisting towards the right. Breathe. Never try to do the impossible for your skeleton. I'm always just offering some different options for you to try and see what works best for you today. But very important to always meet yourself where you are in this moment. Remember that every time you come to the mat is a different day, a different practice. If you're in a twisted variation, start to ease yourself back to center. Perhaps trying a different position here with the arms, maybe coming inside of that right foot. Another option here is the dragon tail. You can reach back for that left foot or ankle or shin with your right hand. This is a nice quadricep stretch. It also increases the sensation in that psoas region. It can be pretty intense, so just be careful here. Again, listen to your body. Modify as you need to. Go ground down through that left hand if you're taking this variation. And release. Coming into swan pose now. Heel toe that right foot over to the left side of the mat. We'll stay upright to begin. That left leg stretched back behind you. Now some people like to keep the leg straight like I've demonstrated here. Also tilting over to the side may work better for you. You can bend that left knee. You can also draw that right foot in closer to you for less sensation, or push the foot a little bit further away. Try some different options here. Sleeping swan, where you lower yourself down, may be nice for you. The target area in swan pose is the gluteal region, working on the right outer hip glutes. Now, this is one of the stress containers in the body, so use your breath. Really breathe into any areas where you feel tightness. And then exhale it all out. Soften, surrender. Take a deep breath in and open mouth exhalation. Let it go. Slowly start to ease yourself up. A nice tender release of that right leg back behind you to meet the left. We'll take a short reset here in child's pose. Sit the hips back and down towards the heels. Let the arms rest heavily on the mat in front of you. In the spirit of building strength and energizing, slowly ease yourself up and let's meet in plank pose. And once again, drawing the opposite knee over to the elbow. So left knee towards the left elbow, right knee towards the right elbow. You can also crisscross, going to the opposite elbow if that feels good for you. Just allowing some movement here, and then we'll hold for a moment in a static posture. And now slowly start to lower your knees down. And once again, melt back into child's pose. Take a few rounds of breath here. Let's prepare for the second side now. Reach for your props if you're using them. Otherwise, step forward with that left foot and start to shift your weight forward and back. As you shift back and the left leg straightens, fold over and get a hamstring stretch. And as you shift forward, feel that nice juicy stretch on that right psoas hip flexor region. Breathe. Mindful movement. Settling yourself in now in preparation for our next static posture. In your dragon pose, find the position that works best for you in the arms, whether you're straddling that left leg or coming on the inside of that left foot, with or without the use of props. It's often helpful to bring the ground to you by using props. In a yin class, props are our best friend. And although I'm not using them here in this practice today, I usually love to use props. They make postures more accessible. You can hold them often longer, getting deeper into that fascia that's anchored to the bones. Remember the target area now on the right side, you're getting into that hip flexor region, the left inner thigh and groin. Soften your shoulders. Now, if you took that twisted dragon variation, you may choose to do so on this side. Gently opening up that left inner thigh and groin and twisting the spine. Ease back to center if you're in the twisted variation. You can hold here in dragon, upright, or baby dragon, lowering down into the forearms, or even reaching back for your foot, ankle or shin in dragon tail for that quadricep stretch. You're holding on to your dragon tail, start to release, and let's prepare for swan pose. Heel toe the left foot over to the right side of the mat. Right leg stretches back behind you, or you can tilt over to the side. Tilt to the pelvis here will help to increase or decrease the sensation for you. So your shape does not have to look like my shape. In fact, it most likely won't. And it's up to you to find the variation that works best for you so that you get a nice juicy stretch on that left outer hip gluteal region. without going too deep too fast. You can even bend the knee on that right leg for a better stretch if you need it. You can draw that left foot in closer to you or further away. When you have found your sweet spot, do your best to hold in stillness. Allow your breath to be your anchor in the present moment. Maybe you lower yourself down to sleeping swan, to the forearms, easing yourself into it. You do not need to go to your maximum range of motion in the beginning portion of these long-held postures. Give yourself time for the body to open up naturally. Be patient and know that time, not intensity, is the magic ingredient in a yin yoga class. If the body gives you the green light, you can go a little deeper into the posture. Maybe that means you lower yourself all the way down or readjust your props. At any time during these long-held postures, you do have permission to make some movements, adjust as necessary, so that you can receive the maximum benefits. Let the breath get a little deeper. Take an open mouth sigh at your own pace. Breathing out any stress, any worries, any fears, and all the tension. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And now very tenderly start to ease yourself out. You'll likely be a little sore. It's very normal. And let's make our way down onto the back. A rebound laying down. Keep your awareness within the boundaries of your body and feel the subtle shifts of energy happening inside of you. Start to sway your head from side to side. Massage the back side of the skull. Come back to center. Bend your knees. Let the feet come to the mat. Heel toe your feet out towards the edges of the mat and windshield wiper the legs, swaying the legs from side to side. Loosening up around the hips, the low back, getting that synovial fluid pumping. It may feel nice to look over the opposite shoulder, so when the legs sway to the left, look over the right, and vice versa. Just giving the spine a little twist out from cervical to thoracic into the lumbar. Do a couple more times on each side, and when you're balanced out, you'll come back to center and hug the knees into the chest. Optional here to sway from side to side. It may feel nice for the low back and the kidneys. Holding in stillness is perfectly fine as well. Shoot the legs up towards the sky and point and flex the feet. Circle out the ankles a few times in each direction. Just allow some fresh blood flow and circulation. Start to bend and straighten the legs a few times. And now let's prepare for bicycle crunch, targeting your six-pack, the rectus abdominis. Draw your hands behind your head or fingers at the temples. Lift the legs and let's begin in a bicycle motion. So inhale to the center and exhale as you twist and draw your elbow to the opposite knee from side to side at your own pace. So inhale as you come to center and exhale as you twist and lift from your core. Squeeze the navel in when you twist and lift a little higher. Let's go a couple more times on each side. Come to center, lower the feet down, arms down by your side, pause and breathe. Feel your heart beating. Let's prepare for a spinal twist now. Cross your right leg over your left and lay the legs over towards the left. Arms spread out like wings. Optional here to cactus the arms. You may even choose to gaze over that right shoulder or gaze up towards the sky. So spinal twists are a really good opportunity to wring out any toxicity and dead cells. Think of yourself like a sponge. We're constantly absorbing stuff throughout the day. And now is your opportunity to wring it out. So every breath in is a purifying breath in, nourishing every cell in your body. And every breath out, detoxifying, letting go. Allow yourself just to melt into the posture. So the legs here can be in a full bind, or that top leg is wrapped around the lower leg. If the bind doesn't work for you, just release into a half bind or stack the legs one on top of the other. Props come in handy here as well, in between the legs or even under the legs to slightly lift them. Just take a mental scan here and notice if there's anywhere you're holding on to tension. Is there anywhere you can soften just a little bit more, mentally or physically? Slowly start to draw everything back to center. Both feet come down to the mat, arms come down by your side. Pause here in the center, allow the bones to settle for just a moment. And now draw the knees in towards your chest. Take hold of your shins or back of the thighs. Happy baby is an option here. If you're taking happy baby, you can take a hold of the outer edges of the feet, the big toes with peace fingers, even the back of the thighs if that works good for you. You can be as playful here as you would like to be and make some movements or hold in stillness. I like the Peter Pan position where you stretch one leg at a time out horizontally as the other foot draws in. Gives a nice inner thigh groin stretch, hamstrings as well. Do what feels good for you. And now slowly start to lower the feet down to the mat. Let's go second side twisted roots. Left leg crosses over the right. Lay the legs over to the right. Again, full bind here, half bind, or just stack the legs one on top of the other. Arms can spread out like wings or cactus the arms, or even come down by your side. Perhaps you're looking over the opposite shoulder this time. And notice here if you're breathing a short and shallow breath. Doesn't need to be a really deep breath, just mindful breathing. Keep your awareness in the present moment and listen to the soft whispering sound of your breath, calming the nervous system, slowing everything down. Give yourself permission to receive as much of this slow medicine as you can, allowing the body to heal and repair itself from the inside. And take the moments of silence to go inwards. Every shape we create with the body is a container for meditation. Just allow your body to melt into this posture with the weight of gravity. And then slowly start to ease yourself out. Come back to center. Neutralize your spine as it unravels. Both feet on the mat, arms down by your side. Let the fascia creep back to its natural position without making any sudden movements. And now start to draw the knees in towards the chest. Curl into a little ball. Lift your head up, forehead towards the knees. And now lower yourself back down. The legs shoot up towards the sky. Get a hamstring stretch by reaching for the calves, the ankles. Little point and flex of the feet may feel good for you as well. Snail pose is an option here if that's safe for you. Legs come up and overhead. Now if you have any recent injuries for the necks, avoid this one completely. Or even with high blood pressure or menstruation, you may want to just keep the legs lower. Otherwise, feet can touch the floor behind you, or you can bend the knees, or take a half fold with the legs floating in space. Props are helpful for this one as well, to place underneath the hips or the mid-back if you need a little extra support, or you can use your hands there as well. This one can be, for some people, a really good stretch for the entire spine, decompressing it from cervical all the way down into the lumbar. Little sips of air here if you are folded over. If you're in snail pose or legs up, slowly start to lower yourself down. Lower the legs down very slowly and then stop when you feel challenged. core engagement here. Just a few rounds of breath. And then slowly lower the legs all the way down. Take up space here. You have earned your final resting pose, Savasana. As you settle yourself in for a few minutes of relaxation, give yourself permission to unplug from the outside world. You have done the work. Now you deserve a moment to fully surrender. Take a few rounds of deep breath. On your exhale, sigh it out and release. Take a mental scan. See if there's anywhere you're holding on to, any last bit of tension that you can let go of. Let your eyelids be heavy. Soften the tension around your eyes. Relax your jaw and the muscles in your cheeks, soft. Shoulders relaxed, hips relaxed. Full body relaxation. Let the bones become heavier and heavier with the weight of gravity. Feel yourself sinking down, down, down. And now let the muscles be light as a feather, as if you're floating in space. Feel the waves of peace and calm, healing energy washing over you. Slowly start to deepen your inhalation. Invite some gentle movements with your fingertips and toes. A little sway of your head side to side. And back to center. Take a full body stretch. Take that natural energizer. And now roll over onto your side for a moment. Let your energy shift. Reconnect with your breath. And now slowly ease yourself up to a seated position. Keep your eyelids heavy or gazing down towards your mat. Roll your shoulders a few times. Ground your energy. Take a moment to close out your practice in gratitude. Draw your awareness to what you are grateful for in this present moment. I thank you so much for sharing your energy and light with me today. The love and light in me honors the love and light in you. Namaste.